Hi everyone, another day, another handheld, with this one being a budget powerbank retro gaming handheld named the A20. These powerbank handhelds seem to be a trend of late, and unfortunately there's been very little iteration improvements between them. The A20 is a 6-button vertical handheld which supports up to the Super Nintendo Megadrive emulation, although both Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance are more like slideshows than anything playable, unfortunately. Though we'll deep a bit deeper there with some emulation footage later. So, straight out of the box, it's apparent that the XGO Games Power A20 has a very cluttered back panel, although to its credit at least all of the ports have been adequately labelled. We've got one very crackly mono speaker on the back, our first power button and micro HDMI out, USB-C and USB port on the top. On the right side we've got an AV out, a second power toggle in terms of a power switch, and a volume rocker wheel which we always like to see. Underneath we've got the micro SD card slot, and on the left the power indicator for the power brick inside the handheld. In terms of controls, as much as I like to see an unusual 6-button layout, this is not a good implementation of one by anyone's standards. The buttons are super loose and wobbly, with it easy to press multiple buttons by accident, and it's hard to get a tactile feel of exactly what you're pressing at the time. The joystick doesn't press in, but doesn't offer any form of accurate movement either, making precision input very annoying, with only the fairly responsive buttons being the start and select ones, so all in all a very disappointing control scheme. In terms of firmware, we've seen this variation a few times before, especially in powerbank handhelds, with the last we've seen it I believe being the E6 powerbank reviewed on this channel. It's not actually too bad, to be fair, all things considered. It's absolutely bare bones, with only save states being offered above the bare minimum in terms of emulation, but it is at least straightforward to use, with things like the language being easily changed too. Unfortunately, the emulation isn't too great at all, with the A20 really struggling with some Game Boy Advance and Super Nintendo games, and only the simplest games and systems should be considered playable, which is always a disappointment with these kind of handhelds. There's equally an annoying hiss in the background speaker, which can be heard in the background at all times, and that's incredibly frustrating too. Anyway, let's switch to some emulation footage so I'm able to sum up at the end. So unfortunately the A20 power bank is certainly a disappointment, with the light blue colour and quality of the casing being the only positive things I can really say about it. The screen and controls are poor, the mono speaker is terrible, and the emulation isn't much better. Well, hopefully we'll have better luck next time, but until then, thanks so much for watching.